So anyway, we're sitting here with Greg Buckman. We're doing a podcast. Greg Buckman is an LA comic. I'm Mark Selzer. I'm a Hollywoodian, which means I live in Hollywood. I am an avant-garde performance artist.
Oh, he can't. That's all right. That's all right.
Greg is a comic. We're here in the Subway sandwiches in Hollywood, so that's why we have some shitty pop music playing in the background.
Hey, wow, but you got to admit that these guys are doing all right that have this music going.
Yeah.
Their wallets are a little fatter than mine, and
they
wow.
get paid more. See, that's the difference between, what's the difference between a comic in a restaurant and a waitress in a restaurant? What's the difference?
Wow, I wouldn't know that.
The waitress is getting paid.
That's good, that's good.
Har, har, har.
Wow, I'm Greg Buckman. You introduced me, right?
Yes,
okay.
Greg Buckman.
Wow, this is great, this is great. Subway, did you get, I got the foot long.
What did you have on your foot long?
I don't know, I ate it. I forgot.
Got it ready. Mine was some turkey.
But you didn't get the foot long.
No, I got the 6-inch. I got the Italian herbs and cheese 6-inch.
Oh, you got the average.
I got the cheddar cheese and it's toasted with olives, spinach, lettuce and tomato.
Oh wow, wow.
And some oregano.
The whole garden.
The whole garden, right. That's the only time I get any opportunity to eat actual, when I go to Subway, to eat actual vegetables, because if I buy vegetables, they will just sit in my refrigerator, because I have to cut them, I have to do something with them. I have to actually take the head of lettuce and cut it, and that's too much hassle. Or I used to cook sometimes. I like to cook, but it's just it's too much hassle, so I just don't. Every time I buy vegetables, they rot. Even fruit sometimes just rots. And wow. Bananas, because I have to peel it. I didn't even want to peel the banana. That's too much preparation.
Wow, so I take it you don't have a rabbit and you don't own a monkey.
I don't.
Okay.
But people, I can actually,
vegetables.
When I do cook, I cook really well. People come over to my house sometimes like, hey, I'm going to cook this, I'm going to cook that. And they're like, no, I don't want any. Then they see what I cook and I go, wow, that's really good. They can't believe I can actually cook. And I do cook, but I just don't want to. I can cook really nice meals. I just end up going to Subway and eating a sandwich just because I want to get out of my apartment, because I own my own business and I work on it in my apartment. Needing an excuse to get out of my apartment is great. So, that's what I do. That's what I just do that rather than cook. But sometimes I get into cooking and I just stay home and I cook all my meals.
What year was your apartment built?
I don't know, in the 30s. There were 20s. There was a guy in my apartment, an old man, and he used to be in there. He said he moved into the building when he was 17 years old. So he moved in the 1930s and saw everything go through that apartment. And he used to get in these arguments with the manager. And the manager, he would say, well, if you don't like it so much here, why don't you move out? And he would start yelling at the manager, shaking his fist at him, yelling, the only way you're not going to get me out of here, the only way you're going to get me out of here is feet first. And then eventually he did. He died when he was in his 80s, and they took him out of there feet first. And
wow, really?
Yeah, I used to help him. He was on the 5th floor, he's across from me. I used to help him when the elevator was broken to carry his groceries up the stairs and go get his mail for him and stuff like that, because I figure someday I'm going to be an 85-year-old man in that shitty apartment, and hopefully someone will help me.
What do you mean shitty apartment? It's still there.
It's still there.
It survived all those years
Yeah.
and all those earthquakes. I mean, if it would have been a new one and been on rollers, you wouldn't be able to find it. That's the problem with the new buildings on rollers. When there's an earthquake, you can't find your building.
Right.
Hey, where's my place? Where's my place?
Wow,
that's pretty
Then
cool. It survived
over,
all that.
They're going to roll over to the other building, right? Yeah, I figure that, if it was going to fall down or burn down, it would have done so by now, so hopefully I'm safe in there. But the manager says, though, there's termites and stuff like that in the building, and it might collapse, he says.
Oh, wow. Oh, really, huh? Are they going to tent it?
What?
Are they going to tent the building?
I don't know what they're going to do. They're building a whole other building. They were going to tear it down, but I don't think it can be torn down. So what they're going to do is they're going to make it a commercial hotel on the main floor. But there's so many people in there doing Airbnb. Like you can tell there's Airbnb tourists coming in and out all the time. So many residents there are doing Airbnb, and so they're turning the ground floor into commercial hotel. See, my apartment, they built like I live right by Hollywood Boulevard. They put in a Hustler's store on Hollywood Boulevard,
Oh,
2
wow.
blocks from where I live. They're putting in a strip club at the end of my block.
Oh, wow, there goes your wallet.
Right.
Wow.
So now, to give directions to my house, I say you go down Hollywood Boulevard, past the Hustler's store. When you get to the strip club, turn right. Then you're at Mark's house.
Larry Flint, huh? Larry Flint is going to be
Yeah.
down the street from you, huh?
Right,
Have
Larry
you
Flint.
seen him? Have you seen him in his wheelchair?
I have it.
I got to admit, though, Larry, I mean, you got to love Larry. I mean, a lot of people went through puberty with his magazine.
Right.
I mean, the guy gave me some of the best years of my life with that magazine, you know?
All the time you
You got
spent
to
that
admit, you know?
holding his magazine up with one hand, and he never even calls you. None of those girls in there ever even call you.
But he's in a wheelchair, you know?
Yes,
He's
yes.
handicapped, you know?
He got shot.
Oh, he got shot.
Yeah, he got shot.
By a
Somebody,
guy?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Somebody shot him, and the police
Really?
intentionally never found out who.
They don't know who.
He was shot during his trial because he was during his obscenity trials, and he used to take on the government. He was a free speech pioneer and advocate, and he some evangelist probably shot him, and he was paralyzed from the waist down.
Oh, wow. That explains his voice then. It's always like,
I don't know whether that's just his accent or what. I don't know.
You see,
I used to
can't
date
do
a
his voice.
girl.
can't do his
I
voice.
used to date a girl that was friends with his wife.
Right.
He said his wife, I guess, used to dress in like dog collars and like pink mohawks and stuff like that. And she was played by Courtney Love in the movie.
Oh, really?
Larry Flint versus
Wait, which one
the
did you
People.
date? Which one did you date?
I dated a girl who used to be friends with her and actually used to go over to the Hustler house and visit. And her name was, I forget the name of this girl. I lived with her after my divorce, and I regret not marrying her because her argument for me to marry her was that her parents owned like 14 houses or 24 houses, and when her parents die, she'd be rich and I'd be a millionaire. So she
Wow.
tried to bribe me into marrying her. I wish I would have. I wish I would have listened to her logic.
Yeah, you would have at least had a place to stay.
Right.
You know, 14 houses.
Wouldn't be homeless doing a podcast
Wow.
in Subway sandwiches right
What
now.
happened to Subway? Didn't the guy get into trouble here?
Oh yeah, he did. It's Jared. All the tasteless Jared jokes and all the jokes. Hey Jared, try a footlong while you're in prison and all that stuff.
Wow, I bet he is. Where's he locked up?
I don't know. But what they do with the child molesters in prison is they put them in a whole separate part of prison. So you're locked up with the other child molesters and the transvestites and the homosexuals. They put you all in a little separate part of the prison so no one will kill you.
Oh, wow, really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he wasn't that attractive anyway, right? What did he look like?
Yeah, he looked like a kind of a shaved Bigfoot.
Did they ever find Bigfoot? I know there's a TV series called In Search of Bigfoot.
Search of Bigfoot, hopefully somebody will find Bigfoot someday.
No, but then they'll have to cancel the series.
There's that one film that's called the Patterson film. And the Patterson film has been stabilized recently. So if you're interested in that, look up the Patterson film. And that film was done, I think, in 1967. And every 20 years or so, somebody writes a book, comes out and says they were the guy in the suit, and then they get discredited.
I remember that.
And there was a guy recently who actually got on a National Geographic and a lot of radio shows saying he was the guy in the suit, but then he was discredited because he says in the book and in interviews that the film was taken on the back of a horse. But it wasn't, because there are portions of the film where the camera goes all the way down. You see the guy's boots and there's no horse. He's just running after, whether it's a Bigfoot or a guy in the suit, I don't know. But a lot of people have analyzed this film. A lot of people think it's real. There's a guy named M.K. Davis, who's a former NASA photo analyzer, and he used his skills to stabilize the whole film, and he's been analyzing it for years, and he has a blog. If you want, there's one film of a Bigfoot that people think might possibly be real, and that's the only one.
But that's the guy that went in the NFL.
M.K. Davis?
I'm just making a dumb joke.
I don't know.
There's some pro football players who
Oh
are
yeah,
pretty damn big.
right,
you know?
right.
It's like it looks like 100.
I bet they'd like to recruit him, but
some of them look like it costs $100 a day just to eat. That's
I'm
why
not
they make
saying
so much
it's
money.
a real film, but there's some interesting things about this film. You can see all the muscles and the legs moving, muscles on the arm. It has breasts on the front. Why would you, if you were faking it, why would you put breasts? It's a female Bigfoot. You can,
really?
You can clarify parts. You can see some of the hair is maybe braided on the Bigfoot, and there's these weird details in it that make it kind of weird that it could possibly be, you know, a lot of people are looking at it, even that are skeptical of it, saying this might be a real thing. And so anyway.
So you believe in Bigfoot?
I don't, but that film is an interesting thing that makes me hope there's a possibility that there is some unknown thing out there. You know what I mean?
Bigfoot. The problem I have with Bigfoot is what would he have been living on and eating all these years?
Well, the same thing bears
You know,
eat.
what's he gonna eat?
The same thing bears eat. Anything. He
But
could eat fruit, vegetables,
There wouldn't be enough
bark.
food for Bigfoot to eat out there.
No, there would, because there's bears out there. The bears are
There's
just
no
as
bears
big.
ripped apart out there they've ever discovered.
Well, no. No, the bears are big, huge animals.
Yes,
Okay, just
but they
like
eat berries
they eat
and
berries
picnic baskets.
and picnic baskets and fish and anything else they can find. So if an animal as large as a bear could live out there, then it's possible that an animal like a Bigfoot could live out there as well.
But do you remember there's a TV show I recently saw, now that you bring up bears, this guy used to hunt grizzly bears and stuff. Did you hear about that? He
Yeah.
put him in a booby trap and he got stuck in his own trap and he was hanging upside down for
Right.
hours, and of
Oh,
course
really?
he got mauled. And can you imagine what he went through? The forest ranger said he was pleading with the bears for a couple hours not to chew him up. Can you imagine, hanging up there? Come on, guys. I mean, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean what I meant, and I'm really sorry. Just let me down. I didn't mean any of it. But wow, that really happened. What about Loch Ness Monster?
Yeah.
That turned out it was a fake.
Well, there's different photographs of it, and there's also sonograms.
No, but that was
things
all.
living
The
down
problem I
there.
had on that, the only people that ever saw it was some drunk Scottish guy.
There's different photographs. There's also some underwater photographs where they put a camera down there, and they did capture a weird unidentified fin of some sort. And no one really knows. There may be various creatures living in there. Who knows? This is all
I
speculative.
love the interviews with
It's
the guys
like-
from Scotland. Well, I was coming out to the bar, bloody drunk, and I was lighting me pipe, and I saw him, and it was always some drunk
Right, he
Scottish
ate my
guy
grandma.
coming out of the pub.
He ate my
There
grandma.
was never somebody sober that
Right.
saw the whatever it
Well,
was.
one of the most famous pictures of the Loch Ness Monster, the guy did come forward and say that he faked it and how he faked it. But then there are other photographs and some films where they can't figure out whether there's a large thing swimming in the water. They're taken from boats and they don't know what it is. There's also they went down there with sonar and got some images, and there's some underground photographs where they put cameras down there and they got some weird fins, and there's some other photographs of a creature on the
Why don't they
sticking out
just
of the
drain
water.
the lake?
They should just drain it.
Just to find out if he's really down there
Right,
or not.
you
Just
could
drain it. We can refill it.
You could go there with a spoon
It
and
rains
just
a
start
lot.
drinking it.
It rains
drinking
a lot
the
in
water.
Scotland. There's no drought.
Oh,
They can
really?
fill it right back up.
Fill it right back up.
Just
find
drain
out.
it. What would
Yeah.
he be living on and eating? Though,
There's
see?
enough. Supposedly with sonar, there's large schools of fish that live in there. and
No,
they could-
wow, he's
they
eating
could
all the
live.
fish. That's why nobody can catch any fish in that damn lake because of Loch Ness.
Right. Who knows? All this stuff is just speculation. It's just fun to look at, and it's fun to think about. And you hope that there are something unknown out there.
I believe it.
Who
I
knows?
believe it.
It's like UFOs. I think the UFOs are all just experimental aircrafts that the government has, and they're classified. And that's it. And then they even tell you that all the stuff about aliens could just be fake. And I think that the government made that up to try to hide.
No,
so when
there's
people
definitely-
see a UFO,
no,
people think rather than government
aliens
classified
exist.
aircraft.
Aliens
Yeah,
exist.
for sure.
Yes.
It's big. Who brought who if they didn't
Aliens
exist,
exist.
who brought
it's on
the
the news
Bigfoots
every
to
day.
Earth?
We should build a wall. We should build a wall. Give me a
Right.
break. Aliens
To
exist.
keep the aliens out, right? That presidential candidate
Yeah.
that wants to keep the aliens out, right? Okay, I heard about that guy.
Yeah. Well, I was
Right.
just kidding around on that one, but
Right,
I'm saying,
right.
okay, I got you what you were talking about.
Where do you What do you call a prostitute that's been farted on by Donald Trump?
Wow, I have no idea.
A trumpet. A trumpet.
Wow. Okay. That's funny, huh? Wow,
That's
Donald. We got to lay off
stupid
of
one.
Donald Trump. I mean, one thing. A lot of people hate Donald Trump. Okay,
Uh-huh.
a lot of people hate him, but you got to admit he has done some good for the Latino neighborhoods. They're making a lot of money on him.
Right.
I mean, they're making a profit on him. That's
Right.
because I hear that Donald Trump pinata is selling so well.
Yeah.
Wow, take that. Wow, take
Oh,
that.
wow.
Wow, take that, you bastard. Wow, you're telling jokes. I decided I'll
right.
tell a Trump
Tell
joke.
some jokes. Tell some jokes.
Trump.
Right. Bigfoot jokes. I don't
Trump.
have any Bigfoot jokes. What can I say? I don't know. The Bigfoot Loch Ness Monster, it's been talked about enough. Who needs that stuff? It's old. It's worn out.
Yeah, he's getting up there. When was
You
the first
think that-
discovery of him?
You think that with everyone with a cell phone now, there'd be a really good film of Bigfoot by now.
Oh yeah, no, I
Everyone
know.
has a cell phone.
Yeah, where are the UFO
But the
sightings
UFOs, I guess there's lots of cell phone UFO things.
Are
but they
there
could
really?
just be pranks. Yeah, it could be just, you can go on YouTube and see them. They could be balloons, it could be pranks, it could be people putting stuff in the sky. Who knows? All that stuff, you never really know, so why even look at it? I guess you can look at it to a certain extent, and why even bother with it? Is that we're never going to be told the truth. If the government knows, they wouldn't tell you.
Carter, former President Jimmy Carter, saw a UFO.
He said he saw a UFO.
Yeah, he saw a UFO.
He did. Yeah.
Cheech and Chong saw a UFO.
Cheech and Chong saw a UFO?
Yeah, they saw a UFO.
That's Cheech and Chong and the President of the United States. Well, that's good company. That's good stuff. What can you say about that? So how long have you been doing comedy?
Well, almost 5 years now.
5 years?
Yes.
And what do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah.
I really enjoy it a lot. I love it a lot. I really, really like it. I wish I could be on stage 24 hours a day.
Yeah. I used to do what's called performance art. And no one knows what that is, so I just call it comedy now. And I was trained to do performance art at the California Institute of the Arts. And I have a bachelor's degree in fine art.
Really?
As well as I was in the master's program of the California Institute of the Arts. And I got my bachelor's degree in fine arts from the Otis Art Institute of Parsons School of Design, where I studied the history of art and the history of performance art and the history of video art. So I was doing performance art in an art sense, and people would usually laugh. And I decided, well, to find an audience, I'm going to have to just become what's called a comedian. So we'll see, we'll see what happens. It's kind of, after a certain point, if so few people make a living doing comedy, they just can make you quit. So many people quit. I've seen already in the maybe 3, 4, I guess maybe 4 years I've been doing comedy now. We've seen lots of people come and go.
Right.
And there are lots of mentally ill people too that quit. And then for some reason, some really mentally ill people keep hanging on, and they're still around all the time.
Right.
So right now I'm getting booked more and more, so that's good. I always like to see some kind of progress. If I don't see some kind of progress that's telling me I'm doing better, then I just want to quit. I just want to stop doing it. But then again, if I stop doing it, I get fucking bored. If I don't go up on stage, I get bored. I get bored out of my mind. And I just want to, sit around and do absolutely nothing. At least it gets me out of the house, gets me able to do my job and my business,
Yeah.
So we'll see. So I hope everyone out there can understand what what we're saying on this podcast. There is some background noise. We're on a Subway sandwiches at Franklin and Highland Boulevard in Hollywood. This is where we are. This is our exciting lives, guys, in Hollywood. This Subway sandwiches, I end up at this Subway sandwiches all the time at night, but sometimes I leave because it's just filled with crazy homeless people. like late at night, there's nowhere to go in Hollywood. Everything's closed. I come in at 3 or 4 in the morning, but it's filled with homeless people. And I mean, I'm sorry, I'm sad that there's homeless people in the world. There's nothing I can do about it, but I don't want to have to go eat in a homeless shelter. You know, I don't want to do that. Who wants to eat in a homeless shelter? No one gets out a phone book or looks on the internet and says, where's the nearest homeless shelter? Let me go eat there.
Right.
And I also don't want to eat at tables where people have been sitting who probably use their hand to wipe with after they're done.
That's. Well, I noticed 7-Eleven charges money to get in.
Really?
Got a dollar? Got a dollar? Got a
Right,
dollar?
right,
You know,
right.
it costs money to go inside 7-Eleven.
Right. You have
There's
to.
a lot of guys in front. Those are some tough homeless bouncers in front.
There used to
Got a
be.
dollar? Got a dollar? Got a dollar?
There used to be a homeless guy that was around Hollywood in front of the 7-Eleven, and he had memorized every single Bob Dylan song.
Oh, really?
And I used to go up to him and give him money. I would just name a song, and he would just play it all the way through. And he would either have a guitar or a harmonica, and
Really?
he would just play it. Every single Bob Dylan song, all the lyrics. I mean, this is a guy who wrote really incredibly complex lyrics. And if you went up to him and said, "Oh, I want the third song on this album," but what's the one where he's talking about harpoons? He says they say they were whale hunters, and some cop came along, crazy as a loon, threw us all in jail for carrying harpoons. And he said, "Oh, I know that song." And he says he didn't know the name of the song. He'd say what album it's on, and he would just play it for me through. And I'd always give him like $1 or a few dollars. Then there was another guy, like most of the people you don't give money to around here, because I see homeless people out there. If you're on Hollywood Boulevard, where I live, you know, every day you see homeless people. But there was one homeless guy that I saw that I gave money right away. I'd always give him $5 every time I see him. But everyone else I would just leave alone. I was callous to it. But this guy was a homeless guy with no hands.
Oh, wow.
And I
He
thought
was
that was
sexually
the
frustrated.
worst. Yeah, he must have been, you know, because
Unless he had
I
a girlfriend.
was like, no, he didn't. But you could see him walking around Hollywood Boulevard sometimes with his pants down,
Oh.
because it's really hard to pull your pants up when you don't have any hands.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know, I was saddened when I saw that. I really had to sit down,
No, that's awful.
because usually that's just too much, you know, homeless guy. And I would hand him the money. It's like, how, you know, I wonder, what does he do with it, you know? But he would grab it in his two little stumps and he would stick it in his pocket. I was wondering, how the hell does he get it back out of there
Ugh.
without any hands? You know, it was just so unbelievably hellish. Also, like in the morning, if you're a guy, you wake up, you know, and a part of your body is stiff.
Right, right.
You know,
Yeah.
what do you do if you don't have any hands? Do you like spit on the end of your little knobs,
Oh, my gosh.
and then like try to knob off with your two knobs, or you just cry because you're trying to knob off with your knobs?
That's like the old saying that I used to tell people, that I'm not a morning person, but I got to admit my dick sure is.
Right.
Wow, was it ever? Ooh.
Yeah.
Where's the rubber mallet? But that's really sad what you were telling me. That's
It's horrible. You know, and I also wonder,
that's
I was
awful.
thinking how, when I started to reach in my pocket, okay, I'm giving this guy, because I see all kinds of people.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
it's background noise on Hollywood Boulevard.
Right.
For people and you just ignore it. But this guy I gave money to, and I started to hand him the $5. I'm like, how am I going to hand him the $5? He doesn't have any hands to grab this with. So I put it over his little stubs, where he takes his two little stubs up and he puts them together, grabs the $5. Then somehow he managed to stick this thing in his pocket.
He deserved money, though.
I would give that guy
That's
money.
very sad. That's very
It's
sad.
too
There's
much.
some really sad cases.
Because you
I've
have to
seen.
turn
very sad.
your sympathy off. You can't be devastated every time you see a homeless person. But one time I saw one that looked like my dad. One time I saw one that looked like my brother. One time I saw one that was a woman that looked like an old girlfriend of mine. And you know, when it hits that close to home, it's harder to turn it off. But you kind of have to in order to live out here, because there's nothing you can do about it, you know. And I'm like, in some places in LA right now, there's so many homeless people that are clogging the streets. You know, we have they're taking out the bunch benches on Hollywood Boulevard, because they're becoming little tent cities after a while. People start living there and packing their stuff around. I call them Obamavilles, because they called the tent cities during the Depression Hoovervilles. So I call them Obamavilles. Like, start forming around these bus benches. So I guess the businesses are saying, take those bus benches away, so I don't have an encampment of homeless people in front of my business, you know?
Right.
Which is sad, you know, but the people that run businesses have a right to their jobs, And if you have a bunch of homeless people in front of your business, a lot of people just won't stop. They won't go in, you know? You got to lay people
Very
off.
sad.
So it's sad. What can you do? You know, there's billions of dollars going to, in what's called Kiwi 3, going to bailouts. Since Obama's been in office, there's been continuous weekly bailouts of the rich, but evidently not bailing out poor people. But then again, no one knows what the answer is. In Santa Monica, they passed a bunch of laws to try to help homeless people. They passed a bunch of laws. They put showers in the parks and things like that to try to help homeless people. And what happened was Santa Monica became like a place where all the homeless people were coming there and congregating. And they found out where the homeless people were congregating, the crime rate would go up, the cars were getting broken into, houses were getting broken into, even children were having more, there were more sexual assaults, and even children were reporting there were sexual assaults, and there were more and more homeless people. So they started to reverse a lot of their very homeless-friendly rules over in Santa Monica. So no one really knows how to help them. There's even a homeless expert. I forget his name, but once, long ago, there was the museum downtown was holding a photo exhibition, and even with Tipper Gore, Al Gore's wife, had some photographs in it, and it was photographs of homeless people. So this homeless activist,
I hope they
what
got
he
paid.
did, well, what this homeless guy did, he said, "You're showing
taking
photographs
photographs."
of homeless people?" Yeah, you think they would? I'm sure they didn't. And so this homeless activist in L.A. decided to take his homeless encampment and move it in front of the museum while they were having the photographs of the homeless people. Said, "Oh, you want to see photographs of homeless people? Here are some real homeless people." So he moved his encampment right in front of the museum, which was funny because people were arriving at this show that had photographs of homeless people. It was, I guess, supposedly trying to draw attention to the plight of the homeless people, and they were arriving in museums and wearing tuxedos and shipping champagne. So we decided, well, this is garbage. You know, if they really want to help, they should do something else. So, you know, no one really even knows what the answer is. The problem is the more money you put into trying to help, then the more homeless people that you have. So who knows what the answer to it is. I know there needs to be lots of changes in the economy. I know that. Stop spending trillions of dollars on war, quit taking all these trillions of dollars out of the economy and spending on war. Spent $4 trillion on the Iraq war now, which is too bad. Now it looks like a fireman has come into the Subway sandwiches
if there's a
here.
fire, it's time to exit. Let's go.
Time to fire.
There's a drought. I don't know if they'll be able to put it out. Wow.
All right, well, this is my first podcast. That's Greg Buckman, and we did like a half hour.
We'll have to work on